Are you serious about your health and fitness, but overwhelmed by the conflicting information and BS all over social media? Welcome to Fit Facts. Brought to you by Brandon Pascual and Gabe Erno. With a combined 10 years of training experience, this physical therapist and personal trainer duo bring you the most up-to-date and applicable fitness and lifestyle tips based on the most cutting-edge research, bridged with field experience of what actually works and is sustainable for the long term. Enjoy. Welcome to Fit Facts. My name is Gabe.
I'm Brandon.
And today, we're enjoying ourselves. We're eating some mints. So,
Yeah.
Brandon, you put these mints in your office, and you say they're only for clients, right?
Yes, and I also put that mint on this side of the desk because it's only for. I'm just kidding. hey, he really reached for it. Though. I was like, whoa.
But yeah, anyway, I'm a big fan of mints.
Okay.
We've talked about this in the past. We had our whole intro banter about Altoids.
Oh, yeah, Altoids. Oh, yeah.
Our intro banter is so interesting sometimes because we'll just be like, "What do we talk about?" We're chewing a mint right now.
Yeah, it's like a good warm up. It's like when you warm up for a workout. This is the warm up right here.
This is our mobility drill.
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna say, I'm thinking about upgrading my snacks in my office.
Okay.
Because I know a physical therapist who has he has protein bars. He has sample
for his clients.
For his clients.
Wow.
For his patients. Yeah. And then he also has it's so funny. He has fruit roll-ups in there. I saw because he has a whole tray of snacks and there's mints in there, of course.
Of course.
Gum. Yep. And I was like, oh shit. I don't know what I'm gonna add, but we'll see. I'll probably add something instead of mints. What do you think? Maybe
I don't know. I like that. I just got the body work done the other day, and the woman had alkaline water. She gave
that's
me
right. Yeah, in the bottle.
A nice little glass bottle.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
And there was Altoids and tampons in the bathroom.
Oh, nice. So, I feel like every bathroom needs.
I grabbed some tampons.
She actually had with the sponge bath thing. Did you see that in her bathroom?
No.
So it's one of those things where it's like a cell. It's kind of. You don't want to get attached to it, but it's one of those things where it's like a baby wipe.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be a sponge bath. You just put water on it, and then you just bathe yourself in it, and you're able to actually scrub yourself.
I'm never showering again.
You're never showering
awesome.
again. No.
That's funny. It kind of reminds me of my buddy's traveling the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he just moved rooms. He's in South Korea right now.
Yeah.
He moved rooms because the bidet in his room was broken. And he loves the bidet so much. He's like, I need a room with a working bidet.
Oh, sure.
I gotta switch rooms.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried a bidet?
Oh yeah, dude, that's just a game changer.
It's a game changer. I might have to get one of those attachments,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know that they also have a bidet where it's a seat warmer also.
Wow.
It comes with a seat warmer, yep.
I would just be sitting all day, dude. Just staying nice and clean and warm.
Oh my god.
That's a little too much information.
I know, for real.
Guys, we have a great episode today. Today we're talking about a 4-step process and how this relates to Brandon's paradigm of physical therapy that he has put together and conceptualized so that he can make all of us pain-free and healthy.
Exactly. So before we get into that 4-step process, I'll tell you right now, a lot of other cash-based PTs are using this process. Just disclaimer, I didn't make it. But it is my... this one that I'm about to tell you, it's my original one, but it's their concept.
Cool.
The 4-step process. So you know how when you go into physical therapy, they're saying, oh hey, yeah, you can come in for 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and then just keep paying the copay, and we'll just make sure insurance keeps approving visits. And that's how that physical therapy company gets the money.
Yep.
It's they want patients to keep coming back, or else they won't have that much business. Same as any other business model. It's you need consumers to keep coming back. All right. But the thing about that is if you're a physical therapist and your patients keep coming back to you, you gotta ask yourself, are you actually doing your job right? You know what I mean? If they keep coming back to you 3 times a week, if they're seeing you 3 times a week for 1 to 2 years,
oh yeah,
are you doing your job right? Is the big question.
No.
I would say no.
For 2 years.
For 2 years, yeah. 2 years is wild. Because I remember when I was a student at a sports clinic where it was a traditional insurance base, they called themselves the insert clinic name here, All Stars, because they've been there for 3 to 4 years, and they would come in 2 or 3 times a week. And they're oh yeah, I've been coming here for 4 years almost. Wow. 3 or 4 years, 2 years. I was holy shit. And then I looked at their chart. I was it looks like the same exact thing. It's the same problem. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Back pain, knee pain. Sometimes they'll be oh yeah, it's the one year was the hip pain, the other one was the knee pain. But as we talked in previous episodes, they're all related. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how traditional insurance-based PT practices are. They need people coming back to make their money. However, as a physical therapist, from what I think is that you shouldn't have patients keep coming back to you. You should kind of like empower them to make sure that, hey, yeah, you have back pain, but I want to teach you how to deal with it and manage it in the long term.
Totally.
Like, I don't want you to come back like 4 months later and be like, oh, it aggravated again. Can you please help me? I want to be able to successfully say, hey, I educated you to know what to do. I literally like taught you like pretty much a mini physical therapy course on your back pain. That's why like in my office, I have a lot of educational tools. I use that skeleton. I go on my iPad and I actually go on this app called the Human Anatomy app, I believe that's called.
Yeah.
And then I literally just show them you're able to like take off like the muscles of the skeleton, able to see the action. They're like, oh, this is what the shoulder does. This is what the deltoid does, rotator cuff does. So I'm able to like educate them. So that's what this whole 4-step process is about. So going into it, the 4-step process I take with every patient is, I'll say all 4 right now. First step, pain relief. Step 2, fix and address the root cause. Step 3, strengthen, mobilize, condition. Step 4, keep it this way forever. Yep. So when we get into step 1, when someone asks me like, is this some pain I'm going to have to deal with forever? Step 1, every time they come into me, is first thing we gotta relieve the pain.
Yeah.
AKA calm that shit down. Yeah. I think I showed you one of my charts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like calm down.
The different stages of
yeah,
pain.
different stages. Yep. So you want to calm down the pain first for the first step. That means I'll be doing the usual what other PT clinics do with the manual therapy, like active release technique. I'll go in there with my elbow. I'll use the blades, scrape them. I'll use cups. But that's not going to be, I straight up tell them this, that's not going to be what this whole process of you healing is about. I don't want to be doing all of this like on week 6, week 7, you know what I mean? So step 1 is when I try to relieve the pain, because if I just get them into like doing a Jefferson curl, like bending over, they have back pain, that's not going to work because the body's way too preoccupied on dealing with the pain they have right now. You know what I mean? So step 1's always going to be relieve the pain. All right. So that's when I kind of like tell them, hey, I'm going to relieve the pain. This assessment isn't going to be as full as the one when your pain's gone or like at least tolerable within the next week. So they relieve the pain usually about 1 to 2 weeks, you know, with all my manual therapy skills and some of that low level exercise I give them. Right? And then step 2, this is the important part right here. You want to address the root cause. So once we've relieved the pain, now I can finally do a more full, thorough assessment. I'm still doing an assessment the first session.
Yeah.
But I'll do like a quote unquote reassessment once their pain is more calmed down. So I'm able to see like what actually is causing their pain. Because let's say like you come into a clinic and with your shoulder pain, and like the first day, your shoulder is like hurting every time you move it like this.
Totally.
You bring it all around. Then I can't get like a good like evaluation or get good like tests and measures when you're having pain in every motion.
Yeah.
So I kind of like cut the exam short and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do some treatments, and then you'll come back next week. So now next week is here. Now you're like, okay, I only have pain with my shoulder when I'm reaching up now, right? Reaching up, and that's the only thing. So we've kind of minimized how irritable you are. So I'm like, okay, now I can do a reassessment and push this exam a little more. So I'm able to actually find the root cause, and that's a key part that I feel like a lot of physical therapists in insurance-based practices don't do, because what they just look at the symptoms and treat the symptoms. Like if someone has elbow pain, they come in for elbow pain, they just treat the elbow instead of actually looking at like the neck, mid-back, shoulder, you know what I mean? Like for me, like when someone comes into me for a lower back, I still clear the hips, I still clear mid-back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are some things that I like to address, because you never know what someone's root cause is.
You think that's uncommon though? Most insurance-based physical therapies don't do that?
I would say they would still check like the adjacent regions, because as a physical therapist you'll still train to do that. Like if someone did come with elbow pain, they'll still check like shoulder, maybe neck, but they'll most likely check shoulder, but they wouldn't check it so in depth. They'll just do like the basic like, okay, shoulder range of motion looks good, all right, cool, and then they'll go right into like looking at to the elbow.
Gotcha.
And also what I also do with addressing the root, when it comes to like step 2 of addressing the root cause, I also look at the way they move in terms of if they're like in CrossFit, I look at how they do pull-ups. If they're a runner, I look at how they run. I do a nice running analysis. If they have pain going up and downstairs, I'll do a lot of that movement assessments. Even if like they're saying that they have like ankle, knee pain, I still have to look at that kind of coordination pattern because those can still go within the root cause. And also the big one that a lot of physical therapists don't address is the stress. So I actually had a patient on Saturday, and she was telling me that, well, when she wrote her inquiry form, she looked like she was like flared up. She's like, oh, pain's all in my jaw, shoulder. It's neck pain.
Wow.
Jaw, shoulder. She's getting headaches. It goes down the arm. And then when she came into my clinic, she was literally like moving around pretty well because she does yoga. I was like, oh shit, what the hell? I was like, wow, why are you moving so well? Your inquiry form looks like that you should be not, able
super
to
guarded.
move around. Yeah. So then she was like, oh yeah, it's because today's a good day. I'm not too stressed out with my kids. I'm like, okay. Yeah, and it's a good thing that she knew that it's stress that caused it because that made my job a lot easier. But there's some patients where I kind of have to like ask them more questions about like, oh, how do you feel about your injury? What's your lifestyle like? What's your what were your behaviors throughout the day? Because then that I have to like kind of use all of that and take account for what's actually causing the root cause.
Yeah.
If they tell me all that stress, and it looks like the stress weighs more than their actual impairments or like what I found on their exam, then I'm like, it might be the stress, like lower, like try to think about like stress management, mindful breathing, all that stuff. So addressing the root cause is a big thing.
What are the main recommendations you'll do for a client in the case that it is primarily stress that is the cause?
I actually, since that's not really like my scope of practice, I tell them to just try to like look for a therapist. But I do give them general advice, like go ahead and try some mindful breathing. Maybe if their schedule's too packed, I recommend them doing like a block time of like having some time for yourself. I just give like general advice, like setting boundaries.
Yeah, nice.
I say, I actually sent them this one guided meditation video.
Dude,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of those guided meditation videos.
It's on YouTube, and I think I have it like saved.
Yeah.
I'm like, send this to patients. I'm like, all right, cool. So it's because a lot of them, they don't really take that time throughout the day to just like relax for themselves. They're always go, like how I am kind of. And
slamming down 400 to 700 milligrams of caffeine.
I'll say that Celsius will be my last caffeine for the day. I'm hoping.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Anyways, so that's step 2, pretty much addressing the root cause, and you can't really address the root cause without a full, thorough physical therapy exam. You know what I mean? So now that's step 2. So step 3 is going to be mobilize, strengthen, and condition. So it kind of ties into step 2 where now we're addressing the root cause and we're fixing it. But the thing about that root cause is it will affect other parts in your body that will adapt to that issue. For example, if you have back pain, and let's say it's your hip that's a problem, let's say it's like hip tightness, or let's get a better one. Let's say it's because of your running mechanics. So that's the root cause right there. And that means with your running mechanics, it makes your hips a little tighter than usual. Yeah. So that could be like a secondary thing. So I look at the secondary things, and you have to address the secondary things as well as you address the primary root cause.
Because otherwise that'll just be contributing to keep you in that same technique that got you there in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like when like my CrossFit patient, like he knows what the root cause is for his elbow. It's the mid back. Okay. But we have to practice like his push jerks, push presses, and pull ups. Because he uses a lot of his neck to compensate with those motions.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of using like his actual back muscles.
Can you give me an example of how that would be?
So like when he would do like a push press, instead of him like actually pushing the bar up, using like the scapula to stabilize, he does this right here. He juts his neck forward first, and then the arms come up. So arms come up slightly, then neck forward. Okay. And that's where he kind of like strains his neck, or he put more damage on his elbow.
I see that a lot with pull-ups and chin-ups.
Yeah.
People go to the top and they're like...
Yeah, it's because like the name is like chin up. You want to put your chin up there. But it's like your neck needs to like stay relaxed.
Yeah,
it's not a neck exercise.
No, you're trying to work your back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Anyway, so yeah, it's all about like step 3 is all about mobilizing, strengthening, and conditioning. So I say that in order because mobilize meaning you want to make sure you get like the actual range of motion or the capacity to perform that range of motion. So if your hips are the problem and it's pretty tight, we want to make sure that we have full range of motion before we strengthen it, because if we skip to just strengthening and your hips aren't that mobile, then we're just strengthening something that doesn't have that functional range of motion.
It's like if you can do a half squat and it's like you just start strengthening the half squat, that's what you're strengthening. But if you build to being able to do a full deep squat and then you start strengthening from there, now you're building that fuller range of motion that's going to give you more transference to other movements and everything.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. And actually a good analogy or even a good patient story about that is like one of my patients, she came to me for back pain, and then she always like struggled with deadlifts. So like what we were doing are like low level deadlifts. It's like pretty much a rack pull where you pull the trap bar from like the highest levels of steps and she just stands up and comes down. Yeah. That's it. That was what we were doing like maybe week 3, week 4. And now she's able, and I mean, of course, when we go into like coming off from the ground, we built it to where we took a level off. So she was able to deadlift lower and lower. So now like, I think she's week 7 now, and she was able to do 145 from the ground up, 5 reps. That's awesome. Yeah. For her. I know, for real. I was like, damn, all right. Well, we're making some progress now. And that was her first time deadlifting.
Wow.
Yeah. Deadlifting 145, because she would do regular dumbbell deadlifts, like 30s for like 30s or 25s at like regular boot camp classes. But then she never really got into like that kind of weightlifting. So I was like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah, good for her.
Good progress, right? So that's where
she might be stronger than you soon, dude.
Honestly,
you gotta watch out.
I know, right? I can't give her too much. So that's where the strength comes in. Now the conditioning part of step 3 is where now that you have the strength, does that mean that when you go ahead and do your favorite activity, let's say taking a group class, go ahead and hiking, surfing, whatever your activity is, running, will it have that much, are your muscles endurance to not only work together, but to work longer for that time? So that's where like a lot of physical therapy clinics, actually I'll say a good number of them, they don't focus on the conditioning part.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I had that one patient, she was in a boot. When I still had her do like a lot of cardio exercises, even though she was in a boot for her ankle, just to keep up with her cardiovascular endurance.
Because you knew she would need that once she became better, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this is like even in the early stage of like rehab where you got to make sure that they stayed conditioned, because just because like if her ankle's a problem and it's all the legs, just because I can't like load it up, I still need her heart to be working effectively. Because once that leg is able to weight bear and strong enough, that heart will be able to pump blood to those muscles efficiently. So that's why conditioning is important, especially in the later stages of rehab. Because just because if you have an athlete or someone who's pretty active, knee pain, and then just because they're able to now like do a Bulgarian lunge for like 120 pounds, and they have to go back to running a marathon or playing flag football. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think they'll last. They'll be strong. Their legs will look pretty big, but I don't think they'll functionally last endurance-wise. Totally. So that's why conditioning should not be overlooked or overlooked?
Shouldn't be overlooked.
Shouldn't be overlooked. There we go. Yeah, because you're looking past it.
Yeah.
Nice. Looking away. There we go. Yeah, so that's why it shouldn't be overlooked. And that's step 3 for you right there. And then step 4, of course, the big one is we want to keep it this way for good.
Yes.
All right.
Tell me how.
Tell me how. Exactly. Tell me how. I'll tell you how. It depends on your injury. But for general advice, pretty much I want to keep it this way for good by empowering the patient to let them know, hey, you're able to clear yourself to go play beach volleyball. You're able to clear yourself to go weightlifting back with your trainer. You're able to go back to your favorite group class you wanted to go to. But I'll tell you right now, flare-ups we will do what we can to avoid flare-ups, but there is, of course, a chance for you to flare it up. You'll either be super stressed out one day, and then or maybe you forget to do your exercises, or maybe you just like forgot about your form, you were just zoning out, and then your knee pain came back, your shoulder pain came back, your lower back pain came back. I don't want you to call me when that happens. I want you to know what to do. So I'm educating you on how to actually deal with that flare-up. And that's the key part of like the new era of physical therapy for that 4-step process. It's because I don't want to see you back in my clinic. All right. The only time you should be back in my clinic is maybe if there's a new injury, but knock on wood, you shouldn't have a new injury.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So my goal is to like empower you, not to keep you. Yep. And if people do want to like, be kept or stay with me, it's because they actually just want to work with me on other goals. But then I'll usually refer that to someone else. But that's the whole 4-step process right there.
I love it. Yeah. For me, I've definitely felt a lot of benefit at like experiences where, okay, I had this back pain. I was taught, okay, when your back pain flares up, you can do this. And now it's not as scary when it flares up. I'm like, okay, I have all these tools in my tool belt I can access now. It's not this whole like, oh my God, what do I do? The back's hurting again, so.
Yeah, because I see you doing like all the old rehab exercises that we would do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're doing it because it was like maybe flared up a little, or maybe it was just feeling stiff.
Yeah,
and it's like
totally.
you know how to like actually manage it in the long term, and you just have to know how to like progress it even more. Yeah,
that's the big part.
Yeah, because a lot of people they'll go into physical therapy with those fear avoidance behaviors, like because maybe back then, I know we talked about this in another episode, where it's like you don't want to bend. They were told you don't want to bend with your spine, bend with your back.
Yeah.
And then they'll be avoiding that for years, and then when they come to work with me, we're trying to retrain that.
Totally.
So once like we hit step 4, where we want to keep this way for good, that's where we still have to continue retraining it in terms of like a maintenance plan, as in I want to give you a routine that you can do consistently on your own, and you can even do it before or after your favorite activity that you want to get into. And that routine should kind of help you like just keep that range of motion and help you like be confident and not scared of getting back into your favorite activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of physical therapists that some that do have cash-based practices, when they get clients or patients, it's like they want to keep them. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna set you up for 2 times a week. But I'm like, okay, hold on. I don't think they're necessary for 2 times a week. The only time I give 2 times a week now is if they're post-surgery patients. So I have an ACL patient right now, and he's seeing me 2 times a week, which is that's actually realistic. But I know a lot of studies show that a cash-based physical therapy clinic can actually take someone through the rehab a little further in fewer visits than a traditional based clinic. Because in the traditional based clinic, you're not really spending that much time with the PT. You're just there for like the same routine. Every time someone comes see me once a week, it's always something different, or we build off or progress over those past movements.
Totally. You're actually helping them get to the next level, not just repeat these same things that are going to maintain where they're at.
Yeah, because like I don't want someone to like rely on me for their pain, because that sucks. Like when you're like relying on someone, like like imagine like, oh yeah, I have this big CrossFit workout I have to do on Friday. I saw a schedule, so I'll probably see Brandon Saturday, or I'll probably see him Monday for it. I'm like, no, first of all, you shouldn't be seeing me, because if we did these steps properly, you should know what to do and prepare your body what to do. So it's like I actually I have a saying where I have jiu-jitsu patients, I have like CrossFit patients, like I have them do like certain jiu-jitsu movements, CrossFit movements, or even like weightlifting movements, running movements, and I don't want them to get injured, but if they get injured in my clinic, I'd rather have them get injured there than when they're doing jiu-jitsu, or when they're at their CrossFit workout, or when they're somewhere that's outside the clinic.
Because you can show them how to handle it.
Exactly, show them how to handle it, and also I can actually see why they got injured. Because I'm able to like kind of analyze, like, okay, it's because you did this, because I'm watching your form.
Yeah.
I know what your impairments are. Because sometimes when they injure themselves, like if you go to like a group class or whatever, you just like feel your shoulder. It's not like, you knew what actually happened, because you're in the zone. You know what I mean? Especially like with a sport like jiu-jitsu. I've been getting a lot of jiu-jitsu clients recently. That's why. But like when they're sparring, it's like when they have like some kind of ankle or shoulder pain or knee pain, they'll just like brush it off and keep sparring again. Yeah. So that's why like I have them go in like deep range of motions. But pretty much, I'd rather have them injured in my clinic, or flared up in my clinic, let's use that word, than out there.
Awesome. Well, that's an interesting 4-step process. Anything else you would add to that?
All I gotta say is, if you find a red flag, if you find a physical therapist that says, oh, you've been dealing with back pain for 2 years or almost a year, like let me see you for 3 times a week, and we're gonna keep doing this for a year. If they tell you that, run.
Not that you shouldn't be doing exercises that many times a week, but you don't need to see them in person.
You shouldn't like see them personally. They should be teaching to empower you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And actually, funny story is, it's my evening person for personal training. Because like I told her my goal for her was just like, hey, even though like you're like only one of my few personal training clients now, I want you to be able to work out on your own without me. Yeah. Because you're seeing me like 2 to 3 times a week, and that was fine in the beginning, but that's not my business style right now. Because especially since I can literally tell you an exercise. I don't have to demonstrate it in front of you anymore. Like
She knows.
I can straight up tell her, like, all right, we got a plank on ball with knee tucks, and then she'll be able to do it. I could tell her alternating dumbbell bench press, and she's like, okay, I need to see it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, like you can for sure do this on your own. So my goal is like, she's always telling me like, why are you trying to get rid of your clients? I'm like, I'm not getting rid of you guys. It's like, first of all, you guys get more value because you're kind of learning how to work yourself out.
Trying to empower them.
Yeah, trying to empower them. Because a lot of people, they think like, oh, you're a cash-based physical therapist, you're money hungry or whatever. But it's like, first of all, I'm actually losing money because I'm not trying to get these people coming back like repeatedly. You know what I mean? If anything, they're on some kind of like continuity or maintenance plan where they see me once a month. But my goal is to just like, hey, yeah, the money's fine and all, but I want you to actually get like the value that you're paying for, which is actually learning about your body, trying to see what works for you, trying to see what your limitations are, and trying to have a better belief in your pain and your lifestyle.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Finding out a little more about Brandon's methodology for how he treats his clients. If you have any questions for us, leave a comment down below, DM us on Instagram, reach out to us on our website, or stalk us in person, find where we live, and talk to us there. Anything else you'd add for the audience?
Yep. I just want to say Gabe's address is...